Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to read The Wild Christmas Reindeer. It's a second book that I have by the author Jan Brett. Remember, I read about the Christmas trolls the other day? So today is The Wild Christmas Reindeer. Let's see what happens in this story. Again, I'm going to take this cover off just because I don't want to get it in the way. But look at the pretty cover underneath. This just kind of looks like a fabric, maybe from Norway. Let's see what happens. Again, be watching on the sides because there's always information. So I'm going to read it and then turn it over to you, or I'll do it kind of sideways and then I'll turn the picture so you can see it a little bit better. How's that? Teeka was excited. So this is Teeka. And a little afraid. This year, Santa had asked her to get the reindeer ready to fly on Christmas Eve. Ooh, Santa asked her for help. Pretty cool. Teeka had never done this before, and she wanted everything to be perfect. Teeka lived up in the Arctic in the shadow of Santa's winter farm. The last of the snow geese had flown south, and everyone's mind was on Christmas. The workshop was alive with the sounds of saws sawing, hammers hammering, and brushes painting as they all worked to have the toys and presents ready for delivery on Christmas Eve. So here on this side you can see the workshop, and as well on this side. So they're up near the North Pole in the winter workshop. Teeka knew it was time for her to go in search of the reindeer. They had been out on the tundra, wild and free, since last Christmas. The tundra is like a big, wide open prairie or wide open pasture, but tundra is kind of where it's cold and there's not a lot that grows. So that's where they were all year, and Teeka was sure they wouldn't want to go back to the winter farm to train. She would have to be strong and firm. At least she found them: bramble and heather, windswept and lichen, snowball, crag, twilight, and tundra. So if you notice, they have different names than the ones that we know of. So maybe, just maybe, the ones that we know, maybe these are their cousins, or maybe they gave them more American names when Santa deals with them here in America. So here we have the elves are baking, and over here they're still baking. They're making Christmas cookies. Have any of you made Christmas cookies yet with your family? I hope so. It's always a fun thing to do. Teeka took a deep breath and shouted out, "Let's go! Move, move, move!" The reindeer were bewildered by heads went up to see who this loud creature was. But they let her herd them together and headed back toward Winter Farm. Tundra gave her the most trouble. Teeka didn't know that he considered himself the leader and was not used to being bossed around. He liked to stay next to Twilight, but she was separated from him. When they got to the barn, Teeka put them in different stalls, and Tundra snorted impatiently. So Teeka doesn't know much about these reindeer, and she doesn't know that some of them need to be together just to be nice and friendly. And here we go. We've got the elves. And we've got, it elf work, but this is December 4th, and over here is December 5th. So we're going to be watching the countdown to Christmas. So on December 5th, she's bringing the reindeer in so they can start training for the year. Next morning, when Teeka went into the barn, all the reindeer were restless and upset. Lichen was frightened of Crag, who kept nipping at him. Bramble was so worried he drove Heather wild, and Twilight kept calling out to Tundra, who was just plain angry and stamping his hooves. Oh no, that's a mess, isn't it? So here we have December 6th, and it looks like they're making hats. They've got all kinds of balls of yarn up here. And over here, looks like they're making stockings. And in the middle are the reindeer. Look how big they are compared to Teeka, the little girl. Or boy. This is the boy. Teeka groomed each reindeer. She wanted them to look... Oh, it is a she. She wanted them to look sleek and glossy for Santa. One by one, she brushed and combed their coats and pushed and pulled at their tangled manes. She brushed so long and hard that their ears started to turn pink. Oh, look at their face. Do they look like they're enjoying it? I don't think so. So now we have December 8th. They're making dolls. December 9th. Looks like they're making dolls too. Do these reindeer look like they want to come and get their hair brushed? I don't think so. Teeka took the reindeer outside. Now she was ready for the real training to begin. Snowflakes danced in the air as she tried to stand them in 2 lines and put on their harnesses. But they wouldn't stay lined up. She had put Tundra at the back with Heather instead of in front with Twilight. She didn't know. So he kicked out at Heather, who then bolted into Bramble. Teeka scolded the reindeer. "Don't move," she cried. But they all ran off wild-eyed, and she had to go after them and bring them back. So now, December 10th, what are they making? Candy canes. December 11th, it looks like they're organizing the candy canes. The next day, Teeka harnessed the reindeer in the barn before taking them out into the snow. Everything went right until she got them lined up outside and tried to steer them first to the left and then to the right. To make the sleigh fly, they would need to pull together smoothly. But everything went wrong. Tundra crashed into Heather, Snowball, and blew up at Bramble. Windswept knocked over Twilight, and then Lichen locked antlers with Craig. Oh, that's quite the mess. I think Teeka's not sure what she's doing, huh? Guess she's learning, though, just as much as the reindeer are learning. So here we have December 12th, and they're making, looks like rocking horses. And December 13th, ooh, looks like a whole zoo of animals that they're making. Let's see. "Stop!" Teeka cried as she watched the reindeer paw the air. "Unhook!" she shouted as they tried to free their long antlers. Look at their antlers are all hooked together. What a mess. Then Lichen and Craig fell over into the snow. The harder they pulled, the more their antlers locked. The reindeer were frantic, and Teeka only made it worse by yelling at them. Oh no, something's not going right, is it? Let's see what's going on here. What are they building in the workshop this day? And they were making the trains on the 14th, and what's going on over here? Oh, more trains with the tracks on this side on the 15th. Getting closer to Christmas. Only 10 days away. She better hurry, huh? Tundra and Heather rushed to help, but the antlers did not break free. Windswept nudged at Lichen, and Bramble ran to help Craig, but the more they tried to help, the more they got tangled up themselves. Their necks strained and their muscles budged, but their antlers did not move. Teeka wailed, "Oh, please, it's almost Christmas Eve." But the reindeer could not move. A frosty silence hung in the air. Oh, look at their faces. How do you think those reindeer are feeling? And they're all tangled up together. They don't look too happy, do they? Let's see, what are they doing on December 16th here? Looks like they're getting ready to decorate a tree. And on the 17th, some of the wreaths. How is Teeka going to get those reindeer all untangled? What do you think? Let's find out if we find out. Well, Teeka looked at the tangled reindeer, once so bold and free, and began to cry. "It's my fault," she said. "I've spent all my time yelling at you instead of helping. I'm sorry." And one by one, she gave each reindeer a hug. "Tomorrow, we'll go to work in a new way. No yelling, no screaming, and no bossing. I promise. Let me try to let me try to help you get free." So she was so sad that she messed them all up by yelling at them and screaming at them instead of being patient. What have they got going here on the 18th? Looks like the elves are all organizing some oranges. And over here, looks like they're making clocks, building some clocks. The reindeer listened to this new voice. Heather's eyes sparkled. Craig cracked a reindeer grin. Bramble giggled and Snowball sighed. Tundra laughed and Twilight smiled. The more they laughed, the more they shook, and as they shook, their antlers rattled and rubbed. And before Teeka could do anything, she heard spring, spring, sprung sound. And it was the antlers jiggling free. Look, they got free. Just by relaxing and giggling and moving around, they got free. I guess kindness really helps. What are the elves doing on December 20th? Putting together drums, and over here, library with books. Getting closer. Only a few days away. The 20th is coming up tomorrow for us. Quietly, Teeka led the reindeer back to the barn. She sleeked their coats, she gently brushed their ears, and combed out their manes. Tundra nuzzled her cheek. How do they look now? They look much happier now that she's being kind to them, don't they? So now, what are the elves doing? They're wrapping all the packages, aren't they? Same thing over here. And we're the day before Christmas Eve here. They're really working hard now. Do you think the reindeer are going to be ready for Christmas Eve? Do you think they're happy and in a good place that they'll be able to work together? Let's find out. The next year, the reindeer lined up in 2 lines, ready for the harnesses, with Twilight and Tundra leading the line. They practiced turning left and they practiced turning right. Teeka directed them softly. Tundra pulled for Twilight. Bramble was gentle to Lichen. Windswept helped Heather. Snowball nestled against Craig. Together they practiced long and hard. They didn't notice that it was getting dark, and they almost didn't hear a jingle in the distance. It was Santa standing by the sleigh, piled high with presents and ready to go. There they are. He's got a little different coat in Norway than he does with us, doesn't he? He must change. Maybe he uses an extra layer of coat in all this snow. Let's see what's happening here. We've got the elves all watching. On both sides, it's Christmas Eve now. Now the reindeer were ready too, and Teeka led them to the sleigh. Santa smiled and nodded his thanks. Then he climbed aboard and waved to Teeka, who watched as the wild reindeer rose up together and carried the sleigh off into the night. And there they go. So she did get them working together, didn't she? With a little bit of kindness. And that's the end. Teeka's asleep, ready for Santa to bring her something. Isn't that a nice story? Those little crazy reindeer, they just wanted to be taken care of nicely, didn't they? I think that's what anybody would rather have, rather than being yelled at and screamed at. A little niceness and patience always goes a long way, don't you think? All right, my friends, I have 3 more stories that I would like to read to you this week. I guess I'm going to have to do them in a hurry because Christmas is only 5 days away. So I guess we'll have to be reading several. But most of you, I think, are on Christmas vacation now, so you've got time to listen to a story now and then. All right, my friends, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.